Hi guys, I'm Ryan Houston and welcome to my fly tying channel. Your video is about to start shortly. Please take this opportunity to hit the like button down below, leave some comments, tell your friends. Interaction, likes, subscriptions help my channel to grow and help me to keep producing content for yourselves. If you're new to my channel, check out the other videos that I've got. There are over 500 videos at this stage, so there should be something there for everybody. Again, video is about to start. Hit that like button down below. Hi guys, so we're going to tie a salmon fly tonight, and this one is it's a sort of a combination of a couple of different patterns. So the idea behind was to base it on the silver grey pattern, which is popular on the Cork Blackwater, and to mix it with a park shrimp in style. So this is a size 8 Hackles progressive double. And I'm going to begin with a white, this is a gel spun tie-in thread for its strength. I'm going to take some silver oval tinsel and tie it down the back of the fly to the point where we want to start making our tag or butt. Wrap back 3 to 4 turns and then take it through the eye or the legs of the hook and up over the back. And I'm going to tie that along in sort of loose turns till we get to the front there, fold it back on itself, take it straight back until we get just to the back, and then I'm going to throw it off to one side and take it down around so that it then shouldn't interfere with the sit or set of the tail. So the tail we're going to do in a park shrimp style. So that's 3 bunches, which would have been, you know, your 2 yellows and an orange, or if you wanted to reverse that, 2 orange and a yellow. But in this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a special bit of possum that I've dyed in this sort of Highlander 3-tone. However, don't worry if you don't have this. It's not fully necessary. You could use just a little bit of like a chartreuse hair, so maybe chartreuse fox or fox mask or something like that would do just as good a job. This is just a little bit fancier. So I'm taking a bunch off there and I'm going to split it. And I'm going to put 1 bunch on the bottom, tie it in. So you can see I haven't tied it right tight up to the back there yet. What I'm going to do is then to put the core of the tail. So the core tail on this one is a mixture of bucktail, and in this we have like a teal blue, a chartreuse and a yellow in roughly equal amounts. We take our bunch, and rather than tamp it, I'm just going to pull a few fibres out until I get a little bit of a taper into it, and then roll it a little bit. That'll mix them together, sort of hold it together in this sort of core, and then we're going to set that on. So this is then going to end up, maybe it has to be longer basically than this other section. So it's probably twice the length of the hook. This one here is maybe roughly the length of the hook. For a bit of flash, I'm going to use my favourite, which is a peacock crinkle mirage. I'm going to put a strand of that on top of that and then fold that back so we have 2 strands. Trim that off. And now I'm just going to hold the 2 of these together and I'm going to tie it back till I nearly get right to the back there. Not quite there yet. And then we'll take another bunch of this opossum and lay it on top to match the initial one. Tie forward over it there. And we're happy with it for position. Hold all and bind down tightly on that till we get back level with the tinsel for the butt, and that gives us this sort of interesting green, blue, yellow chartreuse tail combo. So this tag end now, we're going to have a holographic flat tinsel body. So I want to cut this off a little bit of a taper. So I held it up there and I cut across there, and what that means is that I have a sort of gradation in lengths here, and that will allow me to create a smooth underbody when I wrap forward over it. You see, we shouldn't really have a step going over here. So for the body on this fly, I'm going to use a holographic tinsel. This one happens to be a medium. Depends on the size of fly you're tying. You could use a bigger one. So we'll tie that on. And you can see I'm leaving quite a bit of room here because we have 2 hackles and a wing still to go on this fly. Just going to fold that tag end back on itself and then wrap over it as we go. So you can get away with a single layer, but I tend to wrap tinsels backwards most of the time and then come back over them, and that sort of gives you an idea on the way down if your body's smooth enough to take it, but also it means that if you're wrapping forward, if you miss a turn by a little bit, you don't see whatever the underbody, well, you do see the underbody. In this case it's silver passing through, so it's not as noticeable. Come forward over that, tie it in, fold it back and tie over it. And then we'll take our remainder of our oval that we left in for the tag and rib the body with that. And tie that off. Okay. So I'm going to put a underwing of angel hair, and what I'm going to use for this is like a silver blue holographic type angel hair. Tie a bunch of that in its middle, fold it back over and bind that down, and that will provide the underwing. So then what I want to do is come in with my scissors at a bit of an angle and cut backwards. Then I don't end up with a block end, and that'll give us our little bit of flash for underneath the wing. To stop that from pulling out, you could just get a little bit of either super glue or varnish and just let it tap it to there. So I'm just going to do that just so as that doesn't pull. And at this point I'm going to put on my wing. So my wing, I'm going to use this fiery brown. This is actually a foxtail, and I'm using the sort of short end of it here because I just like the shape and colour of it, the density of it. To take a bunch of that, I'm holding it about 3/4 of the way along its length, and I'm just pulling out the short stuff to even up the bunch. And then I'm going to set that on. So what I wanted to do is to come back, not the full length of this section of the tail. I want to take it back till it's about halfway, so as we have a progression of shape, or shrimpy sort of shape. Then I will transfer hands when I get the length and cut that off, lay it up onto the hook and bind down onto it. So you can see there's then no trimming to be done here. But to stop it from pulling out, what we're going to do is to super glue 1 inch of our tying thread, hold the wing in place, and then wrap tightly down over the tie-in. And what that'll do is the bit of super glue will seep into the cut ends of that and prevent it from pulling out, hopefully. So right, so next we're going to have 2 hackles. So one is going to be a silver badger, and then I'm going to put a guinea fowl hackle in front of that, and sandwiched in between I'm going to have my jungle cock. So if you want your jungle cock more prominent, you can have them on the outside totally. If you want them totally more hidden, you can put it on now up the side of the wing and then do your 2 hackles up to yourself. Some people like jungle cock to be more visible, shall we say, than others. So take a silver badger hackle, strip it back. I'm going to double it. I have a video of doubling hackles in my techniques section if you want to have a look for that, and it'll explain in more depth how we do this to get this effect. So I double it back, tie it in by its tip, flip it back and tie over it. Take my wax and wax my thread here, just so as the hackle is then less chance of slipping on me. Wrap forward a little bit, and then I'm going to wrap a few turns of my silver badger hackle. So I'm just sort of folding it as I go, because I want it to lay back to a certain degree, and how dense or otherwise you want your fly is up to yourself at this stage. So you could get away with a single or 2 turns on it, if you want it to stand out more, put on an extra 1 or 2. Trim that off. And then I'll just pinch the hackle. That'll throw all of the fibres into the direction I want them to be. And then we'll look for some jungle cock. So I'll take 1 from each side of the cape here, hopefully. The idea is to match them for their size and for their curvature. So as you can see, there's a little bit of a bend in these feathers if you take them to 2 sides of the cape, so therefore if I put this one over here, I'll get that natural sort of downward sweep with it. I'll set that on. Just folding back the root, therefore there's less chance of it pulling out. And then I'll do the same over here. Strip them back, set them on, match them for length, fold that back. Trim off the waist. So you could leave the fly like that if you want. I just like the look of the guinea fowl. I'll take the guinea fowl skin because it's much easier to find a hackle that suits you for size off a skin that is looking through loose hackle packs. Again, I'm just going to strip that back, flip them over, find the center, and double that as well. Crack out the center, find the last couple of fibers or so, and tie across that. And I'm going to wax the thread again. Fold it back, tie across it, and then wrap that on. Go for the hackle pliers this time. Guinea fowl hackles tend to be slightly longer in fibre than standard hackles, and it's quite difficult to find a small one, so either you can just use the tips, but I think we can use it almost to give like a little bit of a spay type of effect to the hackle, so that bit of length and sweep to it. So that is our fly in general tied, but I'm going to put on a green head. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use a Glow Bright number 12 here. I'm just going to run an inch or so of it in super glue, and that'll get this started. It'll allow me to trim off my initial thread, trim this off. Then I'm going to coat a couple of inches of the thread in super glue and create the head with that. So I'll just sort of use the rotational capacity of the vise just to check where the wraps are going. And once I'm happy with the shape of it, I'll finish it in position. Slide that down, and then I'm going to use the super glue to varnish that, and once that has set, then it'll get a clear once that super glue has dried. Trim that off. And that is our fly tied, so that is a silver grey park. So hopefully you agree that it's a quite a nice sort of clear water river spring type pattern. And if you liked what you've seen tonight, give us a like, subscribe, check out all the other different videos I have on the channel. I think there's over 500 of them now, so there should be something for everybody. And until next time, tight lines, and thanks for watching.